What's up, Taiwan? Good evening. I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan is getting ready to ease border restrictions. The health minister says there will be more details in June. His comments came Friday as new COVID cases and deaths each hit a single-day high. As John Van Triest reports, those numbers may not come back down for another 2 months.
It's being called a warning. Taiwan's health ministry had hoped to keep the death toll at 0.1%. That's 1 for every 1,000 COVID cases. But this week, that was breached. On Thursday, for the first time, the daily death rate surpassed 100. The health minister says Taiwan's COVID surge has flattened out into what he calls a plateau stage, with new daily case numbers holding steady in the tens of thousands. He expects things to stay like this for the next 1 to 2 months. And while he doesn't believe predictions that this surge will infect 40% of Taiwan's people, he does think it will affect a large part of the population.
4成我相信不可能了哈，那3成的可能性高不高？不能说完全没有。那以到现在的高原大概在8、9万，以这样的一个速度来看，大概我想大概是15%哈，或者到20%，可能是这一波疫情的一个上限。
That will mean the death toll is likely to tick upwards.
Now, and in fact, deaths, the counting of them, lags about 2 to 4 weeks behind the counting of cases because it takes time for someone to test and worsen and hospitalize.
The government is taking steps to help vulnerable people catch COVID early. These include children under 6, a group not eligible for vaccines.
中低收入者及长照的住民免费的快筛剂。今天我们特别要向国人同胞宣布，我们要给0到6岁的孩童持健保卡就可以领5剂的免费快筛试剂。
Early detection will mean early treatment, and authorities hope, as they continue to ease restrictions, it could stop preventable deaths. Patrick Chen and John Van Triest for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's Transitional Justice Commission wrapped up its work on Friday. The commission was formed in 2018 to investigate wrongdoings that took place during Taiwan's martial law period from 1949 to 1987. It was the second longest imposition of martial law by any regime in the world. Only Syria's martial law period was longer at nearly half a century. Taiwan's Transitional Justice Commission will formally disband on Monday. During its tenure, the body overturned nearly 6,000 political convictions and removed symbols of authoritarianism from the country. It will be replaced by a Transitional Justice Office with representatives from 6 government bodies. Premier Su Zhenchang received the official report from the commission at a ceremony on Friday.
我愿意承担这个责任，也愿意督率全体公务人员为当年国家所做的错误，尽全力的来弥补、矫正、还原，对受难者及家属表示最大的忏悔跟尽力。
Washington has singled out China as the only country with the intent and capability to reshape the international order. This came during a much-anticipated speech on Washington's strategy for China. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken promised to expand cooperation with Taiwan. He said that the United States will align with its allies to compete with China. Blinken also highlighted the Communist Party's growing aggression under its leader Xi Jinping. He said China is a greater long-term threat to global stability than Russia. Blinken said that even as Russia's war in Ukraine continues, the Biden administration will remain focused on the challenge posed by China. In response, China's embassy in Washington said that 2 countries share interests and potential for cooperation, and their overall relationship should not be defined by competition. A high-level Taiwan delegation is seeing Lithuania seeking to expand economic ties with the Eastern European country. The Taiwanese contingent is led by the Deputy Economics Minister. During the three-day visit, they would discuss collaborations in the high-tech sectors, covering things like semiconductors and lasers. Trade between Taiwan and Lithuania has grown by more than 30% in the past year. The Baltic state has come under pressure from China over its warming relations with Taiwan. It's faced backlash, in particular for its decision to allow a representative office with the word Taiwanese in its title. In other countries, they use the word Taipei due to pressure from China, which objects to anything that recognizes Taiwan's sovereignty. One of the world's biggest tech trade shows is underway in Taiwan, and one of the hottest draws this year, the Metaverse. Although the expo is holding in-person events for the first time in 2 years, as Jaime Okan reports, it's the virtual offerings which are turning heads.
This is the biggest tech and computer trade show in Asia, and it's holding its first in-person expo in 2 years. In a normal year, 40,000 visitors would show up for the annual event. But this year, there are only 7,000 people who have come here in person.
So the biggest difference for this year comparing to the previous years, I think is the online and hybrid format, of course, because we have a lot of visitors who could not unable to be in Taiwan.
Organizers canceled the Computex trade show in 2020. They introduced an online component last year. Businesses hoped that the return of the physical event this year would attract more visitors. But international participants like Mustafa Tiara-Pare say that online events have become the new normal.
We just get some kind of a big number of a lot of infection, and it's kind of scaring. But I can say we have to face life, and the lives need to keep going.
One way to keep things going is to venture into the Metaverse, a place where people can interact using augmented and virtual reality. It can help companies reach customers who are still held back by pandemic restrictions.
I'm here at this virtual grocery store to see how this will enable people to shop for fruits and vegetables and even grab a cup of coffee in the virtual world, all with a wave of your hand.
This is what you can see while you're wearing the glasses. You can highlight an item in the shop by just looking at it, and then swipe it to put it in your shopping cart. You can get a complete shopping experience all without even leaving your home. And this application could breathe new life into work functions as well.
I mean, when you see that now people are getting used to have meetings using, for example, Zoom or equivalent. If you can imagine that in the metaverse, you could have very well a much more interesting way to meet by having avatars talking together and so on. But I think that yes, the technology is coming, and there will be probably big progress in the next several years about that.
Experts say that by the end of this year, the metaverse will be valued at $47 billion. You might assume it's just a short-term success driven by the pandemic, but analysts say the metaverse is here to stay. They're predicting the industry will expand into a $670 billion market by the end of the decade. Rick Yi, Yujing Huang, and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
The Taipei Film Festival has announced its lineup for this year's event, including the premiere of 2 highly anticipated Taiwanese TV series. One of the shows is called The Leaking Bookstore. It's adapted from a novel about the owner of a murder mystery bookstore who gets caught up in a bizarre crime. The second show, Would You Like a Cup of Coffee?, explores human nature through the many flavors of coffee. As for films, one notable selection is the Brazilian drama 3 Tidy Tigers, Tied a Tie Tighter. The film won the Berlin International Film Festival's Teddy Award, which goes to a film with an LGBTQ theme. This year's Taipei Film Festival kicks off on June 23rd. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with images of a parade of cute corgis held in the city of Ottawa, Canada. It's in celebration of 70 years of Queen Elizabeth's reign. Of course, the Queen is known for her love of corgis. I'm Ethan Liu. Take care, and I'll see you next time.